Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for pressing play and making your way to my channel. Can you please do me a huge favor before we get into this next episode? Can you please hit that subscribe button? Go ahead and find it right now and smash it, obliterate it for me one time. It'll be greatly appreciated. Obviously, it'll help my channel grow. If you see the like, give me a bunch of thumbs up. I can take all of them that you are willing to give me. And of course, leave me some comments. Let's chit chat. Let's talk it up. So again, before we get into anything else, smash that subscribe, hit the likes. You already know how to share it and repost it across all social medias. Go ahead and do that for me one time. But thank you guys for being here. Please stay tuned, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy this next episode on In House Convos. Thank you. What's up, everybody? Marc the Franchise here. We're back with another episode of In House Convos. I have been blessed, and I am so honored to be invited in our special guest's house. So this is now a Santi section In-House Convo special episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one and only Santi from Santi section.
What up, bro? How you doing?
My homeboy. How we doing, big dog?
Good, bro. Wrong hand.
It's all good. All good. Take what I can get, big dog.
Yeah.
How we doing, big dog?
Good, bro. Good. Enjoying the moment. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming, making it way out here. Way out here.
It was a drive, but it's nothing that we haven't like already done in a different direction.
Yeah.
And you're family, so it's like
Definitely family.
an hour drive is nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, this is where it all started, dog.
What do you mean?
With the conference room 951.
You would do it right here?
Right here.
No shit.
That couch across from us. That's where I interviewed you
I
from.
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Dude, what what's it called? Like revelation, right? Like,
Yeah.
It started there. Now we're on this side.
We're on
It's
this
a little bit
side.
different. Together this time and not
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Part of a new team over here.
Dude, that's
Jamhitztv.
crazy.
And Jamhitztv is in the house,
Shout
by the
out
way.
Jamhitztv. Major shout out Jamhitztv.
Yep.
My homeboy Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Shout out to Two Souls, Iceberg from CultureRich. Shout out to It's Mega Time, Vanessa and Mega.
There you go.
That's the whole team right there. I had to do that.
Shout them
Before
out.
I forget, dog.
Plug them. If you remember the IGs, shout them out, big
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. They could type it up.
There you go. I'm gonna drop all that info. Everything you need, anything you want, I'll
That's
plug
right.
it. This is what we do. We support each other. We represent each other. It's a big community, but there's not too much teamwork that goes into it. So it's really a humbling experience and feeling to know that there's someone who's like me that shouts out and shares love. So I want to reciprocate as much as I can to you and your team.
And that's what it's about, dog. You know what I mean? Like building a community. None of that gatekeeping crap. You know? You know what I mean? And if you're on one team and I'm on another team, it's okay.
We can all win.
We could all win, dog.
That's the one thing that people don't seem to understand. There's so much money out there. There's so much food out there. There's so much opportunity out there where we can all win together.
Exactly.
We can all build. And it's like, it's cool to be like, yeah, I made it. I did it. But it's like when you do it with the whole team, you know how much better it is. Like you said, the whole community vibe.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to live the life you want with the people you really care about.
Exactly.
Not just yourself.
Exactly.
You know, I tell everybody, it's cool. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get that mansion. I'm going to do this and that. Yeah, but when you go down and sit down to eat and you're by yourself, how do you feel?
Exactly.
You
No,
know?
you're absolutely right. And it goes hand in hand with, like, I don't know if you grew up in the church. I grew up in the church. It goes hand in hand, like when they say, you know, prayer in groups leads to it strengthens your faith. It strengthens it secures the prayer. You know what I mean? It secures the goal of what you're praying for. So in other words, like here we are building a community from two different completely areas of the map, but we're building it and making it into something way better because we all have that vision, that end goal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Which is limitless.
Yeah, that's
Anyways.
true. That's true. One person can put in so much work and it's great to see them succeed, but when it's multiple people coming with that same vision, you just see the foundation being laid and the empire slowly rising. That's powerful.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
And
powerful.
it takes a special kind of individual, I feel like, that can understand that or comprehend that. I'm not calling people stupid, but I'm just saying, like, you know, but I'm just saying, like, it's like you and I, let's say I were to take you to family gathering, right? And they're like, who the fuck is this for? You know what I mean? Like,
Am I
damn.
one of those? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like I'm sure everybody has those people in their circle of family where they're like, who's this stranger?
Yeah.
Like, why is he buddy with him? You know what I mean? I don't get it. You know, like just like I heard you earlier before we when we were getting food drunk.
Yeah.
like
sure.
you touched on that, and you made such a great point on how there's those people that just may think you're wasting your time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Those people that think you're taking time away from your family for a fucking hobby, and it's not a hobby.
No, it's a grind, big dog.
It's a fucking grind.
It's a grind, and it's not a 9 to 5. You don't get to punch in and punch out. It's 24/7. It consumes your thoughts. It consumes how you maneuver. It consumes how you build the rest of your week, your month, your scheduling.
Exactly.
It consumes how you live your life. You know.
Exactly.
And the not quote, but what I said earlier was to chase dreams and to try to do something extraordinary. People don't understand that. They're so used to that thinking of, nope, you got to go to work, you got to work hard, get that check, and come home.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, yeah, anybody can do that. That's fine. But what if I don't want to live in this area? What if I don't want to just accept how life hands me shit? What if I want to go create and do more?
Yeah.
Is that childish of me for chasing dreams? Or is that extraordinary that I'm trying to change my family's life?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And for the people that don't believe in chasing dreams, for the people that don't believe in accomplishing goals and outdoing and exceeding limits, you know, God bless them. I will never punch down on them or nothing like that. But it's like, to me, that's always playing it safe.
It is playing it safe.
And my family deserves more than playing it safe.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I do, when I started was for me, but now that I'm growing with my family, it's 100% for them.
Yeah. I learned that before I got married. I remember we took pre-marriage counseling classes, and I heard that message during those classes. And actually the night of my wedding, I remember I heard that message where one of my boys, my best friend's brother, came up to me. He's like, hey, bro, look, check it out. That message that you actually shared that message during our episode about how this comes first now. You know what I mean? Everything that you do is to contribute towards this, which is your family, you know, and not your extended family, but your actual family, your wife, your child, your partner, whatever, you know, your household.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And something that this person, I remember, it was a great time. We're partying, you know. I wasn't drinking or anything that night because I'm like, no, you know, I'm trying to get to the spot, trying to be cordial with everybody. But I remember my boy comes up to me. He's like, look, bro, this is an amazing party, but check it out. Like, just know this. Do not fall asleep mad at your spouse. Do not, like there's gonna be nights that you guys may not even come to an agreement, but like until it's worth it. You know what I mean? It's worth trying to fix things at 2 a.m. when you're like, and that's how it is with this. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're married to this game. You know what I'm saying? It's not just for fun. You know, we take this serious.
It's dedication. It's devotion.
Exactly.
It's more than hard work.
And
I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
You still got to work your regular job.
You still got to work your
You
regular
still got to
job.
do that.
Yes.
And then after you clock out, guess what's waiting for you? Another job.
Exactly.
And this, I tell everybody, nobody sees all of this. Nobody sees what it takes to put into it, what it takes to build it. They see it when you tell them, hey, press play on YouTube, it's ready.
Exactly.
I tell everybody, you see end results. You just see the end of their hard work. You don't see the A to B all the way up to the Z. You see you press play and it's there.
Yeah. It goes hand in hand with like being an artist versus a producer. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Mike that's in here, you know, people can feel a certain kind of way towards a producer or a person who's running a studio. You know what I mean? Some things can go wrong sometimes. You've dealt with that. And it's like, bro, my boy is doing this for free. You know what I mean? But right now he's doing it for free, but with the same goal in mind that I have. You know, so like things like that cannot go unsaid or unseen. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like
in other words, some people need to have a little more humility.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, you came all the way out here. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I already told you. For you, for family, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I would, if you guys were in Vegas, bro, I'd come drive to you guys.
That's right.
Like it's just when you meet good people, when you have good people in your life, you know that the effort is everything.
Yeah.
So I would do that for you guys, for wherever, however.
Yeah, and same for you, my brother. You know, like I know I've told you many, many times, you're like one of the first people that I ever interacted with in this world. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, like those that how can I put it? Those that you don't even speak to a lot, it's a trip that you have a deeper connection with them than those that you usually speak with. You know what I'm saying? Just like with you, like I got to give you your flowers. You're so humble, and you still don't let anything throw you off of your goal. You know what I mean? You have that tunnel vision, and that's what everybody should practice. Have that tunnel vision. If you have, yes, I have my kid here, I have my spouse here, I have my job here, but still have that tunnel vision of what you're really focusing on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And like with you, for example, like you're not gonna catch hard feelings if your boy Santi right here has all those things that he's dealing with and sees a post from Marc the franchise and forgets to repost it or forgets to like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so it's an interesting topic to touch on because I feel like we're so sensitive to like anything that we see, do, or don't do on social media.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I used to kind of feel a certain type of way. It wasn't with friends though necessarily. It was more with my family, the people who I'm like you're programmed by God to like support me.
Yeah.
You know, love me or hate me, but you're programmed to like want your family to win. That's what family is. You know, regardless if you agree with what I'm doing,
Exactly,
or who I'm becoming, or the family I'm raising and our values, you should still be supporting me. So at first, when I didn't get that love, reciprocation at first, like I took it to the heart. And then I started realizing, you know, family's who you choose now.
Yeah.
The older you get, like the ones I really got to care about and worry about is my wife and my kids.
Exactly.
Everybody else will fall in place. The right people will be brought to me. The right people will be removed or they'll remove themselves.
It's like if they're showing you that selective love, you gotta show them the same type of selective love that they're giving you.
Yeah, and so like
it sounds horrible, but
it's the truth.
It's the truth.
And like now, like if you don't like one of my posts or anything, like to me it's like, dude, you're so busy with your own life. You're so busy with everything you got going on. You got your own dreams, your own vision. I don't expect anybody to be scrolling through. I got to make sure I like Marc shit today. So I never get hard feelings. I never get butthurt. Like I said, especially with people I consider family, man.
Exactly. No, I definitely consider you family as well. I mean, this is a family environment that we're in right now, and that's phenomenal.
It's a blessing to have the kids together, man.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to see them playing together. It's a blessing to catch a meal finally.
Yeah.
We've been planning this, dude, for like
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. And it was funny, like it was never the distance. Distance was never the issue.
Just family.
It was family. I had performances. You had your job. You got injured.
Yeah.
Then I started podcasting. It's just there were just so many obstacles that it's like we had to finally, okay, what date are we open? Let's look at the calendar.
Yeah, when you were at Jamhitztv, you're like, bro, there, let's do it.
Yeah. It's like no more delaying, no more waiting, whatever it is. Let's just set it up, because as the older I get, it's like I just want to be around good people, man.
Yeah, same here.
I just want to be around good people and good company. I felt so welcome when I was with you guys and Mike at his house and all that. It was such a blessing to be there. I felt at home.
Yeah.
There's places where you go and the energy's off a little bit. There's just something that's not right, dude. I felt so comfortable and relaxed with you guys. It's like I knew that's where I was supposed to be. Yeah. I knew that was supposed to be our interaction. I knew, you know what I mean? We're supposed to keep building off of that.
And then that was a beautiful day too, because we barbecued and everything after you left, and you left quite the impression on all of us, that hadn't met you. You know what I mean? To the point where recently Mike's like, damn, like that dude Marc, he's like a true family man. He's a real one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And there's, and it's not to knock anybody, but you're right. It's some of us like ignore energy and vibes at times because we want something. We want someone to be a certain type of individual, something that we see. Like if I see a talent in you, like, damn, bro, like you got so much talent, but you're a dick. I can't change that. You know what I mean? That's for you to change that within yourself. That's for me to change that within myself.
People lack self-awareness, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad because, like you said, there's such like people who are maybe so like amazing in a certain lane.
Yeah.
But like they open their mouth outside of that lane. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Fucking. I only want to hear you for A, B, or C. You know, just everything else
Exactly.
do like take a hike.
And of course, like I say that more based on I understand some people like maturity. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of shit, bro, that I did when I was young when I'm just like, damn. Not that I get a pass for being young, but I regret it, but I can't change it. And now I am who I am, and I'm not that person anymore. But I'm talking about cats that, or people in general that are older in age, are my age or close to my age, or grandmas and grandpas that I'm just like, damn, bro, this is crazy. I don't want to be that way.
Still stuck in time.
Yeah.
And still think the world revolves around them, and
Yeah.
everybody owes them something.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see that. It's sad when all you want to do is kind of speak up to it and maybe try to guide a little bit, but then, you know, you already know they're going to get offended. It's going to start some shit. It's kind of like, God bless, you know.
Exactly.
God bless. Hopefully you find the way sooner or later, or, you know, sometimes you just got to let people be miserable, man.
Yeah.
Misery loves company as long as you don't choose to be that company. You
Exactly.
know? Put yourself in a good spot and let them, you know, deal with whoever, however. I mean, they have their own demons, and
Yeah.
if they're wrestling them, you know, just pray. That's it, you know.
Exactly.
And it's funny, I say that 'cause I'm not even like super religious, but it's like at some given point, it's like you just got to be like, man, God bless.
Yeah.
You know, like, what else can you say?
Let God and let go, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You're right. It's very, and I say that because I have so much experience under my belt with that.
Yeah, because you've been podcasting for a minute.
That
and you come across so many personalities and so many like everlasting impressions and shit, huh?
Exactly that, and then they also like I've worked in the field of marketing managing for 13 years now.
I want to get back into that, but for all these artists or producers, people you've interviewed, the ones that, you know, leave those impressions, you're kind of like, fucking grow up. Have you ever had to pull them aside and be like, look, I get it, you're young, but you're coming into some grown man shit. You're coming into a real professional field where you can't act like this. Have you ever had to pull some aside and check them? Or do you kind of just be like, you know what, I'll support you the best I can, and I'll leave it at that?
I've never really dealt on camera with that type of personality. You know, off camera, I want to say that the couple times that I've dealt with something like that, it's not a beef that involves me. You know what I'm saying?
You like a mediator?
Yeah, it's more like, oh, damn, so-and-so was here. I see that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be very direct with my answer, but I'm sure the audience is smart enough to understand, like, the type of situation I'm talking about. And it's happened multiple times where I've learned recently where I'm like, damn, like I cannot be everybody's friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that recently because it kind of bites you in the ass. It does. I could be a real one, you know what I mean? But once you become someone's friend and they want to be a part of your circle, then they try to dictate your circle as well. You know? Even though the circle that they're trying to dictate is on people, it's on people that I don't even really know. I had on a podcast one day. You know, it's happened, bro.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
I was going to say, just because you interview so many interesting people, I'm sure you have some stories you can't even tell, some untold stuff. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so what it comes down to, though, like, if it is anything that involves my team, that I'm always going to say that, man, whether I am drunk, sober, whatever, I'm always going to say that, like, man, like, Jamhitztv put me on this platform, right? Mm-hmm. How am I going to bite the hand that's feeding my platform?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things happen. Let's talk about it. I'm more about open dialogue. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to flex nuts on me, like, for example, like if I were to tell you, hey, Marc, what the fuck are you doing with this person? There's a different way to go about it. Like, hey, bro, like, check it out. This is what I heard about this person. Just heads up. Right, you know what I mean?
There's a certain way to talk to people.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a certain way to get your point across. There's a certain way to, like, basically know your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, just talk to them the right way. Like,
and it trips me out too, bro, because sometimes I've had situations where it's okay to, how can I put it, call your shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, I get it if you don't want to touch on how you just got fucked over by your ex or whatever. I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're being very passionate with me off camera about a certain topic, it's a fucking podcast, bro. Like, let's talk about it in a very cordial way, in a very cordial manner or civil form, you know?
Yeah. Has anybody ever tried to bring that energy to you back on the podcast when you're like, hey, like we can talk off, but then they want to try to address you on? It's like, no, that's not what this platform is for.
It hasn't happened.
Okay.
Because I usually go with the person's vibe, right? If like we're just shooting, you know, just talking our shit, being funny, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a creature of habit. I feel like of my environment. I feel like, so if you and I are telling political jokes to one another, I'm gonna give you my political jokes. If we're talking about freaking some eye candy, I'll be like, oh yeah, bro, I feel you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't have that filter, but it does sadden me when I do have people that I consider friends that want to like tone it down and like filter me. So it's happened a couple times where I'll get a look, and then after, like, that's the great thing about artists. You guys can come up with shit right away. You know what I mean? But off camera, they're like, oh, bro, like, I can't believe you asked me that. And it's just like, my bad.
Well, the good thing is that, like you said, you realize you can't be everybody's friend.
Exactly.
So you're going to be unapologetically you. This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Exactly.
So they'll either remove themselves or the situation plays out, and, you know, then the distance that's necessary is now there. But another good thing is the victory out of that is being friends to so many people is so draining with energy.
It is, bro.
It's
I'm learning
so
that.
draining with energy,
It
and
is.
it's not that you don't want to show support and show love, but think about it. Just to show up to like one homie's thing or support one homie, it's kind of like it takes effort.
Exactly.
If you're friends with everybody, it's like, dude, fucking, I gotta start penciling you in to support you on this day, then him on this day, and him on that day.
And then guess what? Guess who's being swept under the rug?
They forget about you.
Yeah.
Because it becomes this routine where it's like, okay, Santi did this, and then he did this, and it's like, well, what are you doing for Santi, damn it?
Exactly. And it's not, and aside from that, it's just me sweeping my family under the rug too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At the same time.
All of a sudden, it's like everything takes a backseat because now you're like, damn, I'm friends with so many people.
Exactly.
You gotta, you know, look out. You're almost looking out for their interests over yours.
It's funny that you say that. Like, it's like on the movie Bruce Almighty. Remember?
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey. Remember where he has to take the role of God?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, damn, how does God answer all these prayers at the same time? You know what I mean? It's on that level. I'm not calling myself God, but I'm saying it's very overwhelming.
Right. No, it definitely is. For me, the older I get, like, I would try to keep in communication with certain people.
Yeah.
I would try to keep in communication. And then once it became one-sided, I kind of took the hint. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It ran its course, and it's no love lost. There's no hate, no ill will, you know. Blessings and lessons. I had the blessing of being with them for so long, but the lesson is, you know, you got to pick up on patterns and signs. And okay, I don't need to invest my time, my energy into something that's really going to go nowhere.
It's true.
You know, so you start, you know, noticing and things like that. And like I was talking to Mike off camera about a lot of friendships now are transactional. So it's like, I'm going to be friends with this guy. I'm going to look out for this guy and be cool with him because I'm getting A, B, and C from him.
Yes.
But let's say he takes away A, B, and C, and all of a sudden everybody disappears. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. The sad thing is, it's like it's hard to find mutual, genuine friendships. Build a team because everybody's just, I just want something. I want.
Yes.
Nobody wants to give. Everybody just wants. So it's like you got to be careful on how you navigate your friends now because you got to be sure that they don't want something right away. They just want to see you win.
Yeah, you definitely have to learn how to have thick skin and be adaptable.
Oh, for sure.
Fucking adaptable.
For sure.
You know, and going back to something that you said a while ago, because it just, your question was about how do I follow up with an individual after a certain situation. Well, every situation, like when it comes down to recording, now I'm talking about just recording, I look at it as a learning experience. And it's crazy. I don't know if it's happened to you, bro, where sometimes you're like, damn, this fucking episode's gonna suck. You know, like
off camera, but before watching it, sometimes.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was fucking arguably my best episode.
Yeah.
So There was one episode where, and I'll say his name here in a bit because we're friends now, but where homeboy came in, I was barely like in my 5th episode with Jamhitztv, and like I told you, I was used to doing it remotely. I wasn't like comfortable yet knowing the camera's here. You know what I mean? I was just used to. So anyways, homeboy came in like seeing the platform that I was on, and he fucking schooled me. You know, it felt like I got that vibe like, damn, this fool's like really trying to compete with me, and I don't know what the fuck to do. He's a podcaster and he's an artist. Anyways, long story short, the second go around, we did a live with Jamhitztv, and he was one of the guests, and I already knew what to expect going into that. And
you kind of remember that.
I remember that, bro, and like I flexed nuts. I kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't shut him down, but I was able to be on his level where I'm like, all right, bro, this guy's joking. He's fucking with me. I know this and that. The other people that were in that at that property, like, damn, this fool's. Is he being serious? You know what I mean?
Were they kind of uncomfortable?
Yeah. They felt a little. And he's that type of individual that loves rattling cages. Anyways, I got on his podcast last week,
Nice.
and he was like, "Damn, bro, this was pretty good." And he's like, "You've came a long way since the first time I went to meet with you." And he's like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, bro." I was just trying to school you that first during that first episode.
Trying to lay the
Shout out to Big
down.
Serbs. You know I'm talking about you, motherfucker. But
try to lay the
Yeah.
smackdown, huh?
Yeah.
Shout out Big Serbs.
Yeah.
Shout out
but
Big Serbs.
but going back to what I was saying, I always try to learn from a situation. Like that's one. I bookmark shit in my head. I don't know if you do that. I'm a great bookmarker where, you know, I put shit off and I'm thinking, dude, like, what can I do to fix this? But I'm not going to get stuck on this. I'm going to keep it going, right? And then another situation comes around. Okay, I'm going to bookmark this situation because I am my biggest critic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I watch my own film, Mamba mentality. You know, I watch everybody on my team, Mega Time, Icebergs, Two Souls. I watch their film, right? Just to see what it is that I can improve or see what it is that they're probably doing that I'm not doing. Not copy them, but like try to evolve by learning from them and those around me.
So sometimes it's sink or swim, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes you got to go through those gauntlets.
Yeah.
You got to accept, okay, this is what's being thrown at me. How am I going to pick it up and run with it? And for homeboy to test you, you know, he was having fun with you. Like, like you said, you learned, you understood, okay, he's quick, he's witty. So now anybody else who may be sharing that similar personality or interview type, now you already know how to be on your toes and on your game. You know, so that's good. It's all fun and games.
Yeah,
it's all
it
live
is.
and learn. It's all, you know.
And I think being in marketing is what helps me too. You know what I mean? Because like
so you said 13 years.
Yeah, 13 years.
So how did that all start? What made you, of anything you could do, why did you go marketing?
So this is gonna be deep.
And why? What is exactly marketing?
So there's all kinds of marketing.
Okay, see that's where I get confused.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of marketing. So it started back in 2010. I was going through some legal hiccups, you know what I mean? And I couldn't get a regular job. And this is when shit in California was still like very, very strict. You know what I mean? Like they would give you more than a slap on the wrist for like the most minor offense, you know? And,
so basically, you're on the corner throwing chingazos.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
like they say, Johnny Law caught up to me. You know what I mean? And anyway, so I was forced to like look for employment. You know, I had been unemployed for about a year, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck am I gonna find employment? Back then, it's like you couldn't have a record, you know, to find a job. And one of my buddies that was part of the going through the same thing I was going through, he's like, dude, I found this job in marketing, but it's going door to door. But you had to
sales?
Yeah, sales.
Okay.
Just door to door marketing. So there's a difference because sales is me selling you something. Marketing is me just trying to market my company and trying to, you know, it's field marketing. That's what it was. So I was
like, hey, come to my church.
Yeah,
this
that
is,
kind
it's
of
a new church
canvassing.
Okay.
That's the proper term.
So you had this interview podcast, your face type of style for years there.
Yeah.
So podcast probably came natural to you, huh?
It kind of did. It was. It's the same formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
you're kind of selling yourself, right?
Yeah, you're selling yourself. You you change the questions as they're giving you the answers. You know what I mean? It's called rebuttaling.
Right.
You know, it's not debating, but it's rebuttaling. Like, hey, Mark, well, check it out. When's a good day I could be at your house? Instead of, can you come to my house? There's this big difference between those two
because
things.
you already established. I'm going to be there. You just got to choose when now.
Exactly.
I got you.
So I field marketed for
said
about,
that was like 10 years ago.
this was in 2000.
You said it was in 2010.
Yeah, 2000. I'm lying. It was 2011.
2011.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 2011 happened.
Doing field marketing.
Started doing field marketing. I was only there for a year with that company, and it's a home improvement company, by the way, in case of those that are wondering, or if you live in the Inland Empire, Southern California, and you want to get free estimates on home improvements, hit me up.
Or if he maybe stopped by your house before, and you remember, I do need this home improvement now. Hit him up. You know what I'm saying?
Exterior home improvements, windows, roofing, patio covers.
We got you covered. Say Mark the franchise, and you don't get a discount, but you get to say Mark the franchise.
So that happened, bro, and I was there for a year, and I was just like, I was out of shape at the time. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, I'm not cut out for this. I'm going to go get a regular job. Another one of my buddies, there's this full-time job out here. It might be a little bit more rewarding. It was a warehouse job. And that was in the process of me getting married.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is more secure income, because my other one was like a part-time with potential income.
Like
bonuses, all that, commissions
and
all
like
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll do that. So I was in that job for 18 months, and it was a hardcore 12-hour shift. Manual labor. Bro, trip out. If your name said Mark, I'd be calling you Guadalupe.
No,
it was that kind of job.
No,
it was that kind of job.
Damn, grinding.
And Guadalupe was just getting off his shift at the hotel that he was cleaning.
Oh god.
Yeah, that kind of fucking plays, bro. But I hung in there for 18 months, and it made me feel good about that. What made me feel good about that job was that my pops would always tell me, "Oh, you ain't cut out to do the work that I did, right?" And at that place, coincidentally, a lot of his old former coworkers from his old job were there, and I'm like, motherfucker, like I'm doing fucking, and they're like, dude, this is way harder than when your dad worked at. I'm like, fuck yeah.
And we like you better than your dad too.
Yeah. So anyways, I ended up getting promoted there to being a forklift driver or whatever, but.
So you had to get OSHA certified?
Yeah.
Or did it have OSHA, I guess I should ask?
No, it didn't have OSHA.
Okay.
It was just a little class where...
Once I started thinking about the whole Guadalupe thing, I was like, oh, they probably got OSHA. Then.
No, it was just a little ID that said forklift certified.
Yeah, so man, you definitely earn your stripes.
Yeah.
Do you think that, we'll obviously go back to it, but just kind of think about it. Do you think any of that had to contribute to your sciatica? But
I think it did. I think the forklift driving did. That's when I learned to remove my wallet from my butt cheek over to my front pocket. Yeah. I really think it did. It probably did.
Okay, so you ended there for 18 months.
Yeah.
Busted your ass, came home,
and
all dirty and shit. What was life like after that? What was going on with that?
So what happened was the marketing job. One of my buddies that stayed behind, he's like, bro, we're making so much money now. It's blowing up. Like
from the company you left.
Okay. Yeah. They're like, he's like, you may want to consider coming back. And I was like, So the forklift job, it wasn't just the money that made me want to go back. Was the fact that the forklift job was like an hour and 20 minutes from my house, because we already had moved here. Newlyweds, we'd only see each other on the weekends, because it made more sense for me to stay closer to that job than come home.
Instead of commuting and gas money, all that.
All that at the time. So
then even the wear and tear on the car, people don't take that in consideration.
Exactly.
They'll be like, oh yeah, we just commute. Motherfucker, that's still wear and tear in your car. Yeah. You know? What if something happens to that car?
Exactly. It's true. So situations like that, mishaps did happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it comes
how close was that marketing job to your house once you and your wife moved?
It wasn't, the distance is like a 20-mile difference.
Oh,
so instead of me driving 50 miles to work, I just started driving 35 miles to work, which is still a big distance.
Oh, big time.
You know what I mean? But the reason why I went back is because of the schedule.
Nice.
It wasn't graveyard, 12-hour shifts. You know what I mean? So I went back. I did field marketing. I excelled in it. I wasn't like the best, but they knew my potential because I have a background in computers and things like that, you know, so they promoted me to the in-house marketing team by, let's see here, I went back in July. So by May of 2014.
And what year did you go back?
I went back 2013. So I left.
Oh, so it was less than a year.
Yeah, it was less than a year, yeah. So
I'm sorry. When you first got that job, the first time before you left, did you already excelled in it too? Like you already knew you had the knack for it, or it wasn't until you went back?
Not until I went back.
Do you think the forklift shit gave you
Definitely,
character?
it definitely did. That had that not happened, I never would have excelled at this job. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's for sure, because it's a different type of grind. You know what I mean? And it's not so much the hard labor. It was just like I told you, the 12-hour shifts. Yeah. You know,
the time adds up on your body too. You know?
Yeah. Because like you're so much looking forward to, like, let's say at the time getting married. You know what I mean? Living the hubby and wifey life, and I wasn't getting any of that because I was working weekends.
Always gone. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that. So that was my driving force behind, like, trying to excel, trying to learn, and yeah, like when I went into the office, it was a rude awakening, because even though I did good in the field marketing, all I would do was like come to your house and say, hey Mark, I'm with so and so, I see your windows here, they're pretty beat up, you know. And I'm giving you a condensed version. When's a good day that I could come out? And you tell me, no, I don't want to do it because I don't have money. Well, who said anything about money? I just want to, come and show you what we have available. Oh, my wife, that's fine. She's not here right now. What time of the day is she here? You know, those little tricks I learned. And
to keep,
yeah,
let her know.
okay,
I'm going to come. Just choose it.
Yeah, exactly. So when I got into the office, that's when I learned a lot more. Like, stay away from asking questions. Stay away from telling people, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. But a lot of the things, the bad habits that they said I had when I first got in there, I had to learn on my own, because I'm like, okay, you're telling me don't say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Because what we would do in that department was whatever potential clients the field marketing team would bring in for those appointments that I would set up, I would have to call them and reconfirm it. And then I would dispatch our rep over to their house.
So you almost had to resell it again all over again.
Exactly.
Because they might have just agreed to shut them up and get them to leave. So when you go to follow up, they're probably already thinking, oh, never mind.
And there's so much more responsibility that comes with it now, because now I got the person who signed them up depending on me to not fuck it off. And then I have the rep that I'm going to dispatch it to depend on me to give them work.
Just one person
to give them work.
Next,
yeah. So like I'm in the middle of everything. So I learned, like, simple things fix hard situations through this job. You know what I mean? Simplest things. Like, just like I told you, I was told to not say in opening a phone conversation, do not say, hey Mark, I'm sorry to bother you. No one taught me what to fix. So I started YouTubing.
No shit.
I started YouTubing, and I realized that instead of saying that, is like, you got to acknowledge that, hey, Mark, I'm sure you're busy, but I'll be brief. And that's me giving you respect and acknowledging that I know I'm taking time away from your day.
And you kind of keep that power in the
yes,
conversation.
but I'll be brief. Exactly. So it's little things like that.
It's almost like a power tug, right?
It is.
So somebody wants to consume that power to steer the conversation, and they want to steer it so they can, like, I don't want this. I want to, it's okay. And you're like, no, I need this sale. So it's like, okay, I get it. That's cool.
And ignorance is bliss in marketing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know what you're going through unless you directly tell me. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm being a dick. But it's bliss. Like me letting you know, hey, Mark, I'm sure you're busy. I'll be brief. So check it out. I know this is happening, this, and that. My guy's going to be there at this time. It's going to take about an hour and a half. And if you're just quiet and say, okay, we're good. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to, like, over confirm it.
What was like an average phone call, like the time length to call, make like start with your opening impression and to the point
so
where
when it goes well, it's like about 90 seconds.
So it's real fast.
Yeah.
So if it's something that's like 5, 6, 7 minutes, you're like grinding at, you already know, like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever get discouraged, or you're just like, all right, never mind?
I think when you're field marketing, you get more discouraged. When you're phone marketing or it's not phone marketing what I do, but when you're more in that department where you're dispatching and needing to deal with like more in-depth type of scenarios, it's not discouraging because you're always learning. You know what I mean? You always gotta, just like I told you with Big Serbs, like I bookmarked that. You know what I mean? Just like the advice that you gave during my episode about what comes first in life, I bookmark all of that. So with marketing as well, like I'll bookmark a situation. I'm saying your name a lot, bookmark.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Shout out to Big Marc.
But I'll bookmark a situation. Like, let's say you tell me I don't have money and I respond a certain way. And I hear that again, right? There's maybe like 100 customers in between those two no money situations that I've gone through to where I'm like, by that second time, I should already know what to say. You know what I mean? Like I'll retrain my brain. It's a matter of just like training the brain, bro, and like training, feeling vibes and knowing how to talk to people. I feel like not even knowing how to talk to people. It's just like scripting a lot of situations in your head.
Have you always been like headstrong like that though? Like even outside?
Yeah, I've always had a great memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just imagining like to have to pick up these cues without, because when you have conversations, you can pick up on social cues. Granted, you don't have some form of disability, but you can pick up on cues to kind of know how to lead the conversation, where it's going and whatnot. So I can only imagine how much harder it is to do it just listening, like where they're trying to give you the shove off and you like.
The hardest thing to overcome under those kind of situations is when there's a spouse and they're telling you that the spouse isn't on board. That's
now it's a 2-on-1.
Yeah, now it's a 2-on-1. You know, and it's not like I could be like, "Hey, Mark, get your wife on the phone." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I gotta like tiptoe around that, you know. Or if they tell you, like in our field, we require both decision makers to be there for when we're gonna be there. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get rubbed off the wrong way. Well, what do you mean it's a free estimate? You know? So many times if you're a rookie and I tell you, well, what do you mean it's a free estimate? Why does she need to be here? You're either gonna say, oh, well, I'm not allowed to do that, which that's bad. Or you're going to say, okay, you're right, it's a free estimate, so I'll get my guy out there, which is against the rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the way I tiptoed around that, like I draw out scenarios in my head, like why is it that we need both parties there without them thinking that we're trying to sell them? Because ultimately, of course, I'm trying to get a deal from you, right? But why is it that I need both parties there? So I start drawing out scenarios in my head. Okay, well, what if I buy a major project, or if I make a major purchase for my house, whether, let's just say it's just me on title, right? And we know wifeys. We know how they are. Let's say we're financially stable enough to do that. But then the date of install comes around and the frames on the French doors that I ordered weren't frames that she really wanted. So I started drawing out scenarios like that in my head where I'm like, okay, Mr. Mark, check it out. This is the reason why we would want her to be here, because this became a policy not because we're trying to sell you. Of course, we would love for you to purchase on the first visit. In a perfect world, that'd be the best case scenario. However, there's been scenarios in the past where my boss, when he orders the product, he's not taking money out of your pocket because you're not paying anything right now until the project is done and you're fully satisfied. So since he's putting his own money into purchasing the pieces and parts, right? That would cause a bad situation to where, let's say your wife didn't like the grid patterns on your windows. Then we have to reorder the windows. It's going to take us another 6 weeks. But I understand you're not saying you're going to buy, but at the least let us show you show you what we have. At the least let us make friends. And if you say no, that's okay, no hard feelings. But at least when you guys do decide to do the work, you know whether you're going to want the grids on the windows or not. And many times they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
So you got to lay it on thick sometimes.
Yeah. And that was like my own, that little spiel I just gave you was my own creation.
Did you ever have to like, not cut them off, but like say what you need to say before they can interject.
Oh,
just
yeah.
so they can. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I
Many
can
times.
only imagine some people are like, I got. And it's like, well,
But in the world of marketing, you can't say too much unless it's a situation where you have to do some explaining. You know what I mean? Where you're directly asking me a question like, why does my wife need to be there? Or we're not gonna buy today. You know what I mean? I have to give them scenarios like to where it's gonna make sense to them because it's true. Am I stretching the truth? Perhaps, but I'm not lying. You know what I mean? There's scenarios like that, I'm sure, in the world where if you're married, let's say it's your house before she even moved in, there's scenarios where she's going to try to flex nuts on you and be like, bro, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's this piece of shit?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Like, she's going to look at, that's a piece
There's
of shit,
those
right?
scenarios, and then there's the scenarios where they're telling you, like, yeah, I'm not going to buy on the first visit. It doesn't matter. And you have to give them a fucking story on why it's important still to sit down because it's a presentation on a purchase like that. It's about an hour and a half.
Did you have to audition to like get that part? Because you're almost having to like almost like put on like an act or not that you're not genuine on trying to sell them and give them the best product and the best price, whatever. But like you're almost having to like go through a script, act it out for them, and hopefully it all lines up. So I'm just imagining to get that. Did you ever have to run into that scenario where like before you got hired, like, hey, sell me this pen?
They did do that.
No
they
shit.
did do that. Yeah, they did
I thought
do that.
That was just in the movies.
Yeah, they do that. They give you a script. Not for this position that I'm in now that I got promoted. Well, that at the time that I got promoted into at the time, but they do end up giving you a script. Hey, learn this script, learn this thing. And there's many people. That's funny that you say that don't get out of that script. You know what I mean? That the script is a foundation, right? Just like your intro to your podcast, it's just your foundation. You know what I mean? But you could always add your own lingo to it, and it's going to make it sound more authentic, more organic.
Right.
So yeah, things like that. It's crazy. Like to me, like marketing is very fascinating. Talking to people is very fascinating. Getting something out of you and then me hitting you with something else.
Right.
And I hate using that verbiage, hitting you with something else, but this is me in my comfort zone. You know what I mean? Just talking that way because I'm so used to being in that corporate world and talking in the manner in which I was just explaining it to you,
Did you ever have to change your voice a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny that you say that.
Hello, sir.
One of my boys, somebody here in the podcast world a few months ago, he called me and I'm like, hey, bro, hold on. And I'm giving instructions to somebody that's working under me. And I get back on. I'm like, what's up? So, fool, who the fuck was that? Like, he's like, damn, bro, like, doesn't even fucking sound like you. Like, you're all Mr. Corporate. What the fuck?
You got to, right?
You have to.
That comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Especially really, when you advance and,
you really have to be adaptable.
You have to carry yourself a certain way. It's
Yeah.
a professional thing you have to do.
And that's what I meant earlier. Like, when I told you about podcasts, if we're going to talk about something, I'm going to fucking be that person. You know what I mean? Because I'm so adaptable, I feel like. And I hate sounding egotistical, but it's like I grew up in a multicultural fucking environment.
Right.
I grew up around Cubans. I grew up around my people with Mexicans. I grew up around white people. I grew up in the 80s and 90s to where it wasn't, our culture was like not what it is now. You know what I mean? So I had to adapt to like every culture. I grew up in a you grew up in the Inland Empire. It was a multicultural environment.
Very much so.
You know what I mean?
Very much. All walks of life.
So it's not like me trying to be white at some moments. It's not me trying to be black. It's just we had everybody around us out here in the Inland Empire.
It's just like just carry yourself with respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing how to be appropriate.
So so I learned all the lingos, and I think probably in marketing that's what helped me too. When I'd go door to door sometimes and I'd see like an OG veterano, like, what's up, homie? What are you doing? Like, hey, yo, you're listening to the oldies, fool? Like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let's crack a beer. Let me sell you some windows.
Yeah. It's about building rapport.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you still with that company to this day?
I still am with that company. So in 2019, I got promoted to being the main marketing manager in the office.
So does that entitle you have to talk to even more people, or now you're just kind of
so at the time,
overview?
Well, check this out. At the time, we were a 70 employee company, right? And that was heavy. Was the crown? You know what I mean? Right off the bat, because the person that was let go, she was like one of my best friends. You know, that killed me to death. Like, I didn't think it was gonna play out the way it played out. You know, I thought the pecking order of people being let go was going to be different, right? So anyways, yeah, I got promoted. I was kind of emotional, like, damn, man, they took my homegirl away. Like, fuck, that sucks. So I took over, and yeah, I was overseeing my department, which at the time it was about 6 people in that office, and still in the middle of like 70 employees.
Okay.
Right. And then 2020 happened. COVID happened, bro. My boss was like, fuck it, I'm gonna let everybody go. And he tells me, which I took offense to it. Check this out. He tells me, if you just want to stick around for a couple of weeks, answer some calls, it's all good. This was March 20th of 2020. And I was like, this motherfucker, like, he thinks that I'm just going to fucking take calls? Like, what the fuck? So from March 20th of 2020 through July 15th of 2020, I worked by myself in that office.
No shit.
I worked by myself. Me, and then there was another homie that works in the department that dispatches the installers.
Right.
It was just us two, and the owner would come in sometimes. And all the reps, the sales reps, they're just on commission, which would be the guys that I would feed the work to, right? One of them's like, shout out to Ken, man. He's like, hey, if you come across anything, let me know. I kept fucking Ken working more than ever in his fucking 30-year career during those fucking 3 months, bro.
He's kind of like, I lied. I was just fucking trying to be nice.
I kept that motherfucker working, and he never complained. Like, he was so grateful.
That's good, man.
To the point where on Saturdays, I would fill up the schedule, and other reps that didn't even know they were still employed got a piece of the cake.
Damn.
So that right there,
So
like,
just spread love.
Yeah, that really that was a blessing in disguise, just because I get motivated off of bullshit, or I get motivated off of people not appreciating you or thinking something else of you. You know what I mean? And I felt like he was
like overlooking you.
Yeah, overlooking you.
Like
Yeah,
you've done so much, you've accomplished so much, you earned so much.
Exactly. It's like,
And
motherfucker,
for them to have that kind of attitude and
like,
tone, it's like, are you kidding me?
like, motherfucker, you think I'm just gonna be here to answer phone calls?
Yeah.
All right.
What am
I'll
I, your
remember that.
fucking secretary? You think I'm wearing a skirt
Yeah.
into this shit? I'm your secretary? The fuck?
And then after that, I mean, July 2020 came around, and he's like, damn, all I need is Santi. You know? So it was a fucking double-edged sword, though, bro.
I was
because
gonna say you probably got even more responsibility when it all opened
yeah,
back
because
up.
he didn't bring it back everybody. So now we went from being a 70-employee company. COVID happens, it turned us into like a 20-employee company.
God damn.
Yeah.
And all the responsibility fell on you, right?
Yeah, we
God
did.
damn, dude.
I have one person that works next to me, and she's getting close to the end of her career, you know?
I would have just been like, look, at the end of every fiscal quarter, just remember me.
Yeah.
Remember my bank account. Remember the commission. Remember all the bonuses. Don't forget Santi. You know? Because what was possibly taking a couple people to do, I'm now doing it. Granted, it's a smaller team, but it's being done by me.
Yeah, you're gonna get me talking, segueing into some shit now. You know, it's very unfortunate that we live in I love my country. I love where I live. You know, we're blessed and fortunate. We complain about the most minimal shit here where we're at, you know? But it's very unfortunate how people capitalize and take advantage of those that are beneath them sometimes. And it all has to do with them trying to capitalize on the situation. Don't get me wrong. I love capitalizing on situations. You know what I mean? And I guess that's how corporations and companies last forever, you know? Us people come and go.
Everybody's a number. Everybody's just,
because it's
in the grand scheme of everything. You know, everything's a machine. You're just a bolt, a screw.
Yeah, because I've been with this company going through. It's good. It's about to be a fourth administration that's running the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember at times voting for a certain individual based on my life preferences or on how it's going to help me more, right? I think most people do that, not just me, right?
I think I don't think sides matter. I don't think the blue or red matters. It's just how's it going to affect your wallet in the next 4 years?
Exactly. So once that happened, I realized that once I had that realization that you just gave,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that those that are above us, fucking, that's their fucking religion, bro. It's crazy.
It's
Because
scary.
because right now that you
It's
brought up
scary.
bonuses, it's crazy. During I want to say between 2013 to 2016, that would happen, and it made you think that the person that you worked for was like very generous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it makes you think, damn. Here, hey, it's funny. Here I was, hey, buy home improvements for me, and now I'm giving you some like behind the scenes shit. But it's true.
It's how it works.
It's true.
But these are like untold stories. This
Yeah.
is, but like I would tell everybody, these are things you don't see, you don't know.
Yeah,
it's not all sunshine and rainbows, man.
So it's crazy, bro, how I would get that, right? Every quarterly bonus, this and that. Administration's changed. My upper up is like super happy the administration's changed. Our revenue didn't change much, but our bonus structure started changing.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Better?
No.
Ah.
So it's like, bro, if you're happier now, like I would think you'd be more generous.
And show it.
But come to find out, it's because when someone gives you a corporate tax cut, and before you didn't have a corporate tax cut, and I'm probably not even using the correct verbiage here, you know, but let's just say when a tax cut happens and you didn't have access to this tax cut before, you had to go give yourself tax incentives elsewhere in another manner.
Right.
Let's say you're my employee, I'm breaking you off $1,000 every couple of months, I get to write that off
Claim it at the end of the year.
because of the way that the law is put together, right? A new administration comes around and says, well, I'm just going to cut your taxes anyways. Oh shit. Marc, fuck you. Now I don't got to worry about being generous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What about like
It's weird, right?
No, it is weird, but like what about, because I'm my background is warehouse and stuff like that, and I've been with like major corporations. I'm still with a major corporation today, and when I was affiliated with another one, we would get a yearly raise. They would call it your company raise when it was really the what do you call it? Cost of living.
Cost of living. Oh, okay.
So I don't know who, but somebody reevaluate your company. They reevaluate the region you live in. They got to make sure you're within range of making a certain amount for, let's say you're a project manager for this warehouse. They're going to go to all the other project managers in these other warehouses in the same region, and you guys should all be making a certain amount. If you're not, then they tell the company, hey, pay them more. I
feel like that doesn't even exist anymore, does it?
So that happened with me. I got like at the time, I got a phone call and I was being told you're going to get paid about $9,000 a year more.
Wow.
So, I mean, over 12 months, tax, all it wasn't shit, but it sounded nice, right?
Yeah.
So that does happen. So just thinking about that, I would think, okay, well, they just raised me this. Okay, incentive bonus, some type of bonus is going to come. We're going to get something, and every year, oh, we can only give you guys 3%. Come to find out, that was like I think a California rule or something.
See
like
what
that,
I mean? Yeah.
Where it was like, yeah, you guys get a cost of living. They reevaluated.
Yeah.
This is how much you should be making with the cost of everything around you. So you're not getting a raise, really. This is just so you can survive. It's like, what the fuck, man? This whole time we thought this company was just being cool with us and shouting us out and giving us love, but it was none of that.
Yeah. It's just like how some companies during COVID, they give the COVID raise.
Yeah.
And then they took it away.
You know what's funny, too? I was working at a company that didn't shut down. Never shut down. We didn't get hazard pay. We didn't get
hazard pay. That's the word I was looking for.
We didn't get none of the heroes stuff. We didn't get anything.
That's crazy.
They basically try to make us like guilt trip us. Just be happy you got a job. Everybody else is going under. Like, are you fucking kidding
And
me?
you know what? That's the shit, though, man. Like, we are so how can I put it? programmed to think against the grain sometimes, where we fuck ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's so many people that are like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that they're scared or what, but they're just like, yeah, I do got a job.
Yeah.
Because I for sure felt like that, but at the same time, I didn't know what COVID was.
Yeah.
I didn't know the severity of it. To me now, it's like it was just like a flu, if that. To me now, I see it as a big, like a hoax or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it was some type of restructuring of the world and some corporations, because so much went under. And that, long story short, I felt like because I didn't know what it was and we were so like pushed and forced and scared into something, that we should have got some type of compensation for never closing down.
Absolutely.
And then when the volume or the amount of product or flow of product we were picking up and moving, when it dropped, then they started talking about, okay, we got to furlough, we got to do this, we got to do that. And it's like, wait a minute, we didn't get no hazard pay, we were forced to work through COVID, and now when times are getting rough, now you don't want to get our backs. Now, it's like, come on, man.
That whole COVID thing was a trip, right?
Yeah, dude. We're coming up on an hour. Let me stop and save, and
cool.
we'll pick right back up.
Cool.
All right, so we're back, everybody. Just had a wonderful, interesting conversation, but I want to steer it a little bit because I don't want to just get wrapped up in where you work and stuff like that, because there's so much more to you. You're a great family man. That's one thing that always sticks out to me,
Thanks,
big dog.
bro.
I've always prided myself on being a family man. I always try to put family first. We've touched on it, earlier, but that's something that I don't know if people have given you props or flowers on any show. So before we end it, I for sure want to shout you out. Just let you know that I respect you for being the man that you are. I respect you for doing what you do for your family. I was watching you, and I believe the rapper's name was Male.
Yes.
And
that was a beautiful story right there, bro.
Dude, the whole podcast was so great.
Yeah.
So interesting. Her personality, everything was just,
yeah.
It was a really great podcast, really great interview.
I get emotional when I talk about Malay. And you watched that episode.
Dude, yeah, you shot it to me. Like, hey, check it out when you get a chance. And dude, like stuff like that, when you shoot me these things to watch, I'm like, man, these are amazing. It's inspiring.
Thanks, bro.
The one thing I really took away from it, like I said, you're such a great family man, dude. And I don't know if people shout you out, and I wanted you to get your flowers. The one thing that people may not know that I had an idea about is that you damn near had to solve a health crisis with your daughter.
Yes. You
went to like an extent that some doctors weren't even going to.
Exactly.
I seen that, I heard that, and like it touched my heart. It touched my soul. It's like, God damn, like that's what a family man should be doing. That's somebody who goes to the end of the earth, who does whatever it takes to make sure their creation, their baby, is taken care of or getting whatever they need. So I seen that, and since then I've wanted to tell you, like, dude, that's such an amazing accomplishment for you to figure that out, and just like I said, knowing you were already a family man, but to see the extent you went to, like, that, dude, it is amazing, brother. So I wanted to shout you out on that for sure.
And thank you for that, bro. It's crazy, just like how we were talking about learning. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think being a parent is a day-by-day learning experience. Mm-hmm. You learn something new every day, whether it's something you don't want to learn or something that you do want to learn. You know what I mean? My point is that you have to learn it. I'm in that. When it comes down to being a parent, being a partner, like, it's not a choice. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with my daughter's situation, not that anything can come at a good time, but it couldn't have came at a worse time, because right now we were just talking about COVID, right? Mm-hmm. During the COVID era, a lot of us were trying to figure out the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And during that time, she was 4.5, going into TK. Luckily, I live in a city where the culture is a little bit different. It's not the average California culture where we were abiding by every single thing that we were being told.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go to the gym still. I found a gym that was open during that time. No one was wearing a mask in that fucking gym.
A lot of free thinkers, huh?
The police department was in there every
Oh, shit.
morning.
Nice.
They didn't fucking bat an eye to anybody that was in there, which was a beautiful thing for what I prefer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I prefer that. We all needed that during that time. And she started TK. She's a single child. She's an only child, right? We live over an hour away from family and friends. So we didn't know about the health risk of isolation for a child.
Mm-hmm.
We thought babying them was the right thing to do. You know, we thought isolating them was the right thing to do. So the minute she got into TK, that backfired on us. Because then a lot of sickness came, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of things that I never,
Not accustomed to at the moment.
that I wasn't accustomed to. I thought I had a healthy kid because I was doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And no, it backfired because then, I mean, I've heard kids get sick as soon as they start going to school, no matter what. And I'm used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, that was like something new to me. And she wasn't just like getting sick, getting a cough here and there. Long story short, on that part of her life journey,
Mm-hmm.
she was diagnosed with asthma, in which we didn't know she had. We had to change her diet because that's something that I feel like good came out of COVID. It made us research. Oh, our light went out. It's all good.
You're still shining.
Yeah, I'm
big
still
dog.
shining, dog.
You're
You're
still
fucking chrome dome up here now. But I feel that that's the one beautiful thing that did come out of COVID. It made us open our eyes to a lot of research.
Yes.
Not just falling for the shit that we're being told.
Mm-hmm.
Getting second opinions, third opinions.
Like the thought process to start questioning everything
Exactly.
really
kicked
in, right?
Yeah, really kicked
You
in. So
became like hyper focused on, okay, wait a minute, this is what I got to check this out.
and it came at a good time for me when that happened. Like I said, it's not with that part of her journey was because I was on a health kick at the time anyways. I was trying to lose weight. I was hitting the gym hard, taking supplements. So I already kind of had an idea of what I needed to do with her at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going with the normal mainstream healthcare system, what they're telling me.
Right.
You know, so that helped me. We got her on a diet, et cetera, et cetera. This is the first time I'm going to share this. I hope you don't get canceled, bro, with what I'm going to share. But check this out.
I'm not worried about shit.
I did have that fear though, of like, damn, she has asthma.
Mm-hmm.
What if she does catch COVID? Because I did have some close friends that were very healthy that passed away from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they were doing or they weren't doing, but it did happen because it was a new virus, you know what I mean, that we were never exposed to. Like I'm very open-minded to every side of everyone's opinion.
Right.
So I did understand that. So I was like, fuck. Like I did research galore, like how many kids have died from COVID, kids that have asthma. So I was like, fuck. So I had to make the choice on, do I want to protect her or not?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fucking tough choice to make, bro. So I went that route where I'm like, okay, I'm going to protect her. And I did some research where between the first dose and the second dose for kids, it wasn't recommended to do it 3 weeks apart. I did find that research because it doesn't make any sense. Yes.
Vaccine, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I said protector.
Right,
But you said it, bro. It's your show.
No. Like I said, say whatever you want.
I did research on after how long will that immunity wane off, you know, from the first vaccine. And coincidentally, after the first vaccine, like 10 days after the first vaccine, we all caught COVID in the house.
No
On
shit.
her, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, she was fine. She wasn't phased by it. But trip out, like a month later, she caught pneumonia.
Oh.
And they said that it was the same type of pneumonia that came from COVID.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when that happened, we we were freaking out. She's only 5 years old with pneumonia.
Damn.
You know?
I'd have been real scary.
5 years old. No, I'm lying. 6 years old with pneumonia. And luckily she bounced back. She didn't have to get hospitalized or anything. But that bad seed was still planted in my head about, should I get that second dose or not? We waited. We extended like 6 months to get the second dose just because there was always those spikes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see my daughter go through that. You know what I mean? And I don't know the ins and outs of this. I know it's like an experimental vaccine, but that's why I spread them out so much to where I'm like, okay, maybe if it helps her, cool. If it doesn't, at least I don't think it's gonna hurt her because of how far apart they are.
Right.
Because I did do research where if you're doing it like 3 weeks in for kids, it didn't make sense. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
I didn't, and I never. I mean, if it wasn't for my wife, not to like say she enforced it or like pushed me to do it. It was always my choice. But if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have never got the vaccine.
Yeah.
For me, this outbreak, this pandemic, was so new. To all of a sudden have a cure like this, that made me think, okay, wait a minute. We've had cancer, we've had AIDS, we've got all this shit for how many years, and they don't fix it. But we get something that's affecting the world immediately. People are all of a sudden dying, and like this, we have something.
And the timing of it being out during an election year, it was weird.
Yeah,
you know, there's something fishy about it, no matter what.
My wife, she got the vaccination. Myself, I think I did. I don't think I did the second one. I got the first one, and the only reason why, because I was like, if there is any truth to this, if there's any even a small percentage that this will help, I have kids. I need to protect them.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped working. I've been working, so I'm more likely to get it before anybody else. So if I spread it to them, I'd rather them, So I was like, you know what? For my wife, for my kids, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. So luckily during that time, I came across a podcast. I forgot the gentleman's name. That he calls himself an alt-middle person. He ain't alt-left, alt-right. He's alt-middle, and it doesn't mean he's in between both of them. He just has that open mind, right? And he was actually giving like the breakdown of what the vaccine does, how it doesn't. Before they were even like putting it on mainstream media, that because at first, remember how they said, oh, it's going to prevent you from getting sick?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, no, actually we meant this. He was saying they mean this before they
said it.
Yeah. So that's what kind of sold me on it, was that. And the fact that my daughter was dealing with some of the health issues. But what I was going to get at, here comes my fucking dagger. She gets her second dose 4 weeks later. She's having a rough night, sleeping. She's always been a hyperactive kid. She's always had issues with her sleep schedule. But this night was different, where she woke up crying. Then I saw like a twitch in her mouth. And I was like, dude, am I tripping? What's going on? That same night, those episodes happened 2 more times. We were freaking out. I called the doctor. Doctor saw her. He's like, well, it's probably seizures. And I still have the same note on my phone of every time that it started happening. But this is 4 weeks after that second dose. This is the first time I ever share that part.
So the first time, COVID, then pneumonia, second time seizures.
Yes. So that happened. And instead of me focusing on the why, and that's maybe why this is my first time ever sharing that part of it, I try to focus on the how am I going to fix this, or how are we going to get past this. And yeah, bro, like it was happening like every other week. To where in her sleep she would get them. Yeah. And we didn't know they were seizures because like my wife, she's worked with disabled adults, so she didn't know this was a seizure because she's used to seeing like full on seizures. This is just like her waking up with the mouth twitch and like her tapping us like, can't talk, and like it's a little 10-second episode. It's still scary for you to see your child go through that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And especially when to her it was something new and she freaked out too. Like, Daddy, I wasn't able to talk again.
Did she ever say that she had like a pain or discomfort?
No,
Or
she
just couldn't
wouldn't.
speak,
She wouldn't tell us. It took probably like once she knew that was gonna be a thing for her. She's like, I just feel like all kinds of like tingles in my head, and I was like, okay, let me look that up. So I looked it up. Well, first we went to the doctor. Doctor's like, well, if it gets any worse, take her to the ER. But I'm going to refer her to a neurologist and an MRI. How the fuck are you going to get a 6-year-old kid to sit through an MRI?
Mm-hmm.
She freaked the fuck out.
That's the one where they go in the tube, right?
Yeah, in the tube. She freaked the fuck out. She pressed the button right away to get her out.
Mm.
And that was very painful to look at because I'm seeing my daughter like hugging me, crying. Why is this happening, Daddy? Why are they doing this to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from the minute that the first episode happened, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I lost sleep. I was probably like sleeping 1 or 2 hours a day trying to just research because they put us on the back burner for 3 months for her first appointment with the neurologist. 3 fucking months. So in 3 weeks, finally, because that type of seizure is not common, in 3 weeks I was able to find out the diagnosis. Finally, it took me fucking 3 weeks because I looked up mouth twitching, this and that. And finally, I forgot the words that I used. It said benign Rolandic epilepsy, which is a form of childhood epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, okay, so this is going to be it. And the rest of the story, I'm sure you heard it on the Malay episode where I finally, 3 months came in, I saw the neurologist, I showed him the video, and I told him what it is. And he's like, oh, man. Like, bro, like you should be one of the guys that's teaching the students that I teach because a lot of the students wouldn't have diagnosed her, you know? So
and after that, how fast was the next the next action? Okay, this is what she needs now we know what it is.
So they wanted to get an official diagnosis. So what they did was that was a pre-diagnosis. It was like another 6 months, bro, for them to do a EKG, not AKG, EKG.
That's the heart?
No, it's one of, I forget if it's called AKG or EKG, but it's the one for the brain. It's similar to the one that they do for the heart.
Okay.
But they put all these things on your brain. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen me post it about a year and a half ago on Instagram where they had her all wired up. And that's when the official diagnosis came out. And they're like, yeah, she has electricity running through her brain. You know, yeah, it's going to be this. If it gets worse, we'll put it through an MRI, but they try to prescribe her medications.
Did the medication work? Or?
Well, they prescribed it, but I looked at, with this medication, when they gave it to me, I looked at the side effects. And one of them said, and since COVID taught us so much percentages and numbers, you know, if you get the mRNA vaccine, you're under 30, you have a 1 in 200,000 chance of getting what was it called? Remember the heart problem that started trending?
I don't remember the exact name.
But you remember that. It started trending, right?
Fuck, what is that name?
Yeah, it's going to bother me too. But anyways, when they started saying that,
I have a computer.
I mean, I want to say it was like 1 in 200,000, right? Or 1 in 20,000, which that's still a pretty close number if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, for let's say 50 million teens.
When it's your own flesh and blood.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Those numbers could be astronomical, and it's still a chance, an opportunity.
There's still a chance.
Yeah.
Well, on this medication, it said 1 in 500 chances of suicide.
Fuck that, dude.
Of suicidal thoughts.
Nope. Fuck no.
So I took my chances. I'm like, fuck no. She told me, so Daddy, it's okay. I can handle them. I'll let you know whenever I get them. Don't worry about it. And there's like that what she has. It's kind of fascinating if you get away from. It's fascinating to look into. I mean, not fascinating to have. But it's fascinating if you look into, get away from the norm and get into like the holistics of it.
Right.
The problem is you have to fucking have a lot of money to continue the holistic part of it, right?
Right.
There's a lot of theories out there. I'm calling them theories because that's what the mainstream media will call it. But if your body isn't detoxed from parasites, Do you know when parasites are breeding? We all have parasites, but do you know when they are breeding mostly in your body?
Mm-mm.
During a new moon, during a full moon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that enhances the parasites in your body. So that's why sometimes when there's a full moon, Mark the franchise, the nice guy is the mean guy.
Big asshole sometimes.
Like, think about your mood swings when there's
Mark
a new
the
moon.
franchise became Mark the fuckface or something. The fuckhead.
So think about the mood swings that you may have sometimes and look at the moon.
You know what is funny? Because there's times where just I'm not calling myself a woman or nothing like that, but you know how women have their periods.
Yes.
And sometimes
How they say we get the man period.
I feel like that, but I don't know if it's just been a fucked up week at work. I don't know if I'm not getting enough sleep, if I got so much on my mind because music at the time. But there's times where I'll tell my wife, I'm just in a fucked up mood. I don't know what it is. I never started to think about the moon or anything like that.
So if you were to look at the moon, if you look into holistics and things like that, there's a good chance that you have parasites. And we all do, but you have an excessive amount of parasites. So
you were having to figure out how to like flush them out, or or
so
kill
we've
them,
looked into that. We've looked at, it's hard because since she's a child, there's some holistics that she's not ready for yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Her body can only handle so much.
And they did tell us that after a couple of years with her diagnosis that she's gonna grow out of it. And the episodes haven't changed. What's crazy though, what does get me emotional, because sometimes I'll get my hopes up. I'll go 3 months without seeing her get that way, and then all of a sudden I'll have a stint of a month where she's having them every week.
Until this day, she still gets them?
Yeah, she just had last weekend. Today's Saturday. She had one last Saturday, and then she had one on Monday.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah,
I thought you guys were able to control it. Damn.
No, yeah. I mean, all we can do is just like right now is like there's just so much information that we're fed with. You know, that we're being, you know, that it's like, okay, new moon, it's summertime. But here's the thing, like Malay told me, I can't be extra vigilant on her diagnosis to the point where it's going to affect her livelihood and her fun. You know what I'm saying? To the point where right now, I don't know the time, but it's probably past her bedtime, that she doesn't get to have fun with Mark the franchise family and his kids. You know what I mean? How am I going to psychologically mess her up as a child and take that away from her on a chance of her having a seizure, in which she's kind of controlling them now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that Malay episode, when you brought that up, bro, like I didn't know Malay had this before that episode. I didn't know any of that.
It was fascinating.
I didn't know any of that. I didn't know she was autistic.
And it was good to see your guys' dynamic, because right away you can see like the look in both your eyes. You start like, oh shit, like it was a very powerful episode. And
I wish we would have recorded more, because like after the episode we talked about so much other shit that she and I were just like mind blown that we had in common.
You know what I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if there's science behind it. I don't know if there's truth behind it. All I know is I seen it on a podcast that I watch. Yeah. I don't know if you heard of this podcast. It's called The Fighter and the Kid. It's with Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen. It's like a weekly thing. You know, multiple episodes a week. For me, it's entertaining. A lot of people talk shit on it, but to me, it's entertaining. I like to watch it, so I watch it. The host, the main guy, his name is Brendan Schaub, an ex-UFC fighter, became a stand-up comic. And you know, he's doing his thing right now, but his baby was having seizures. I'm sure there's many different forms and reasons why you get seizures and things like that. He had the same approach where he was like, I don't believe what the doctors are saying. Exactly. I don't believe this. He was doing research, and he said he came across a forum where mothers were, you know, giving their thoughts and advice and what helped them and their kids and all that. He said he did CBD tincture drops. And ever since he started doing those, I don't know if he still does it. I don't know how often he was doing them. But he said he gave his baby boy CBD tincture drops. And till this day, no seizures.
Wow.
No days. So like I said, I don't know the facts behind the CBD. I don't know.
I've
And
heard,
I'm not trying to like force
no,
you.
no,
you know,
yeah.
but-
You're not the first person to tell me that. And see, I didn't know that it had potential for a permanent solution. The only
Yeah.
reason why I kept her away from going that route was because it sounded more like a temporary solution.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if it's a permanent solution, it's something that I'll definitely look into. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't know it had potential for it to be a permanent solution. That's crazy.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know how if he still does. I don't know how
Yeah.
often because you said your daughter has a opportunity to grow out of it
Yes.
eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the same thing it feels for his
Oh
son. If
yeah,
it
I
was,
got
you. Know?
you. Yeah,
So
if it was
like I
during
said,
that timeline where that time frame where he was already going to grow out of it.
Right.
If it was the same thing, yeah, I
right,
got you. Yeah.
right. So I
Yeah.
don't like I said I haven't done research. I don't know enough about it. I just heard that. I thought about you
Yeah.
and I was like I would love to tell you that knowing that you love to do research.
Yeah.
Especially now, I didn't think she was still having seizures.
Yeah,
So
she
now
still
for
does.
sure, yeah. Like I said, I don't know what type of seizures he was having. The
Yeah.
baby boy he was having. I don't know. I know every case is different.
It
and
is, yeah.
So yeah. Once I thought about that, I was like, I just want to share that, just
Yeah.
because
And,
anything could help, and I would love if that did
So-
end up helping.
yeah. Something that I did learn, and thank you for that. Yeah, I'm going to definitely look more into it. But something that I did learn was that with seizures, the triggers are crucial. I know you heard the breakdown from Malay on her triggers, and I was like, God damn, that's a fucking long ass list of things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fortunately enough, like what we've observed with her is that it's mostly late nights. And I'm not saying late nights like right now. I'm saying like after midnight. You know what I mean? I've
Mhm.
noticed that.
Does she only have them when she's asleep?
Yeah, only when she's asleep. She had them a couple times when she was awake,
Yeah.
but it was nowhere near as severe as when she's asleep. She like felt them coming a couple times when she was awake. She's like, "Hey, Daddy, I'm feeling it right now." And like you could see the little twitch,
Yeah.
and she could still talk through it. It only happened a couple times and never happened again. There's
So-
like,
When she does have, because I'm
Yeah.
really uninformed about it. When it does happen in the middle of the nights, is there some type of like life alert bracelet or just something that triggers you guys to let you know shit is happening?
yeah, we could hear like a little,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and it's her mouth twitching,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
she'll like get up. It wakes her up, so it's like the electricity in
she
her
knows-
brain
she
wakes
knows
her
to go
up.
to you guys.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm really uninformed. I just assumed you guys had it maybe. I don't put a baby monitor, just
Yeah.
something so you guys, were always right there.
Yeah. You want water, bro?
Oh no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Shout out wifey over there. Appreciate the hosting. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that luckily that hasn't happened. You know? And it hasn't gotten any worse. It's just the only thing that's scary is how unpredictable it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because especially when you get your hopes up and you're like, dude, it's not happening again.
Did they give you a time frame on when she could potentially start growing out of it? Or
They said 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3? Okay.
Yeah. And when I had done research, it was worse when I read it.
Mm.
Before she even went to doctors, they had said all the way until she was like 14.
Oh god.
So I was like, damn, that's like 8 years from when she first had
yeah,
her first one.
Yeah.
That's what this doctor told me. And he's like, I'm not going to force you to take the medication. It's up to you. He's like, if she's not having them severe and she could live her normal life, cool. He's like, there's some kids that I will. It's an experiment. He straight told me, we're experimenting here to see if she has them after this, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. You have the choice. If it gets worse or you get scared, give it to her.
Yeah, man. God bless your daughter.
Yeah.
God bless your daughter. I don't want to say her name just in case
Yeah.
you don't want her name out there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
God bless your daughter for being that strong, having that courage,
Yeah.
even going through it to tell you, Daddy, it's okay. I can
Yeah.
deal with this stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like that's
Yeah.
she's like wise beyond her years.
Yeah.
You don't hear kids talking like
Exactly.
that. You think about kids and the first thing they'd want to do is just cuddle up with you.
It's true.
Like you're supposed to have the answer.
Yeah.
She was bringing peace to you. She
Yeah.
was letting you know, hey, I got
Exactly.
this. Shout out to your daughter.
Thank you, bro.
That's amazing, brother. That's truly amazing, truly touching.
Thank you.
I pray for you guys. I pray for
Thanks,
you guys. Like
man.
I said, I'm not a religious person, but I
Yeah.
do believe in some form of higher power.
Yeah.
And I believe whatever I'm praying to is healing.
Exactly.
I pray that whatever I'm healing to or praying to is healing and touching those in need. So I'm gonna forever keep you guys in my
Thanks,
prayers,
bro.
especially for your daughter, man.
Yeah.
You would hate to see anybody's childhood affected to where they can't be a
Yeah.
child, you know. So
Yeah.
like I said, shout out to your daughter.
Thanks, bro.
It's almost she's living a victory story right now.
Yeah.
She truly is. She's dealing with what she's
Yeah.
dealing with, but she's coming out successful, big dog.
Yeah.
She's coming out stronger, braver. She probably has so much more courage and strength, and she doesn't even know.
Exactly.
And when she
Yeah.
looks back on this, when you're able to tell her these stories years from now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You know how like the confidence boost she's gonna get from this?
Yeah, bro.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because I know I shared my story earlier, right?
Mhm.
About where if you want to call it my podcast, seed was planted in
Mhm.
marketing, right? And I told you right prior to that, I had some legal issues, this and that. I
Mhm.
remember back then thinking, damn, bro, like, it can't get any worse than this, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then fast forward 14 years later, life is probably a lot harder right now than when I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But with what you just said, the victory feels so much fucking better when life is hard.
You're
Then
able to
when-
savor it. You know?
Yeah, bro.
It makes
Yeah.
you put things in perspective and realize it's all worth it.
Exactly.
You know, you have something worth not dying for, but living for.
Exactly.
You know, you got a real purpose in life.
Yeah.
You although, you know, it was easier back then when you fucked off and didn't care, but now that you care,
Yeah.
you have people that depend on you. It's real love, real genuine, real respect,
Yeah.
real humility. It's like it gives you that power to look back and be
Yeah.
like, you know what, this victory today, it was
Exactly.
worth all the shit I went through.
Exactly.
Seeing my daughter laugh today, it was everything worth going
Mhm.
through. Seeing my wife happy and my family blessed, having
Mhm.
a roof over your head, it's kind of like, you know what, we can take on anything.
Yes, exactly.
That's powerful, big
It
dog.
is.
And I'm happy for you,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
I'm happy for how far you came. I'm happy that you're doing what you're doing with your podcast.
Thank you.
You know what I don't like? Not that it's happened to you or happened to me, but I've heard like in other stories, people go, "Oh, how's your little podcast? How's it?"
Yeah.
I hope nobody ever refers to you or your movement or anything as, "Oh, your little podcast," and kind of like downplays it,
Yeah.
even though they don't mean it that way. They just don't know how
Yeah.
to. They don't know the vernacular for what we do in our
Yes.
industry. Because and for us, to us, that's like a slight. That's like a backhand. What do you mean
Yeah.
a little podcast? You know?
It goes back to my boss telling me, "Oh yeah, you could
Yeah.
answer calls during."
Exactly. So I hope nobody ever disrespects your vision and what you're doing. I hope you always get that recognition you deserve for being the great person you are, big dog.
Thanks, brother. And I
And
appreciate you too.
I think right now is a good time to wrap it up
Yes.
and stop it here. I definitely would love to have more convos with you, though.
Most definitely.
More conversations. I would love to
Yeah.
have you on again and again. This is just technically episode 3 for us.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
I would love to do this as many times as we can.
It's a fucking marathon, bro.
I'll come out to you,
Yeah.
no problem. If you want to come to me, no problem.
Most definitely.
But
We'll do this again.
please accept my invitation to come back on
absolutely.
these shows.
Yeah.
And because I had a blast talking, and we barely scratched the surface.
We barely scratched the
We-
surface.
we-
You're absolutely right.
We're 3 podcasts in, and we're still
Yeah.
barely getting started.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But thank you again for having me.
Nah, for sure,
Thank
brother.
you for having Marc the motherfucking
Franchise.
franchise with In House Convos
Yep.
at Santi's Blessed House.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be posting my homeboys' social medias. I'm going to be posting where you can get his podcast, all the info you need, people he shouted out. I'm going to put all that in the description. Please follow. Please like. Please share. Please do not be a lame. Please show that love because we are working hard for you. These podcasts are by the people, for the people.
That's right.
We care about you guys. We love you guys. So please interact, follow, support, share. This is Marc the motherfucking franchise. This is my brother, Santi from Santi's section with Jam Hits Radio. Jam Hits in the house.
Jamhitztv, Jam Hits Music.
TV, Jam Hits Music, Jam Hits everywhere. Don't forget it. Write it down. Take a picture. But thank you, everybody. We will definitely see you guys on the next one. I'm Marc the Franchise. This is Santi. We are out.
Peace.